Hello learners, in this lecture we will study correlation analysis. Correlation. Correlation is a statistical tool that helps to measure and analyze the degree of relationship between two variables like height and weight, rainfall and yield, price and demand, income and expenditure. Two variables are said to be correlated if with a change in the value of one variable there arises a change in the value of another variable. Types of correlation. There are different type of correlation which may be noted between any two or more variables. First one is simple, partial and multiple correlation. Let me explain this. When the relationship between any two variable only is studied, it is a case of simple correlation. For example, study of relationship between saving and investment. When the relationship between any two out of three or more variable is studied, ignoring the fact of other related variable, it is a case of partial correlation. Types of correlation: positive and negative correlation. Now, in positive correlation, the variables under study move in the same direction. That means both will increase or both will decrease is positive correlation. But in negative correlation, the variables under study move in opposite direction. That means if one will increase, other will decrease or vice versa. Use of fertilizer and production of agricultural crops are positive correlation, while price and quantity demand is negative correlation. It is to be noted that the idea of positive correlation when plotted on graph will be upward curve, where data of negative correlation plotted on a graph paper will be downward curve. Types of correlation: perfect and imperfect correlation. When the values of both the variables under study change at a constant ratio irrespective of the direction, it is a case of perfect correlation. On the other hand, when the values of the variable under study changes at different ratio, it is a case of imperfect correlation. When correlations are measured mathematically, the value of perfect correlation will be either plus 1 or minus 1, and the value of imperfect correlation will be between plus minus 1. Now, types of correlation, which is linear and non-linear correlation. When the data relating to correlating plotted on a graph paper give rise to a straight line, it is the case of linear correlation. This is possible only when there is perfect relationship or consistency in the ratio of changes between the value of variables. On the other hand, when the data of two variables plotted on a graph paper give output of a curve of any direction, it is a case of curvilinear or non-linear correlation. Like the linear correlation, a non-linear correlation can be either positive or negative in nature, and accordingly it may give either an upward or downward curve when plotted on a graph paper. Methods of studying correlation. There are different methods of studying correlation between any two or more series, but for measuring the correlation between any two variables, that is simple correlation, section of the suitable method may be made out of the following. The first one is diagrammatic method, second one is graphic method, third one is Carl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, fourth one is Spearman's coefficient method, fifth one is concurrent deviation method, and the last one is least square method. Now, in this lecture, we have covered study about correlation. So, see you in next lecture.